Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday. Super busy yesterday. I didn't get a chance to get on. With COVID hitting our area more and more, because I'm in Southwest Missouri, I've had a lot of stuff I had to do paperwork-wise and stuff, and making sure all the safety stuff is in place at both of my centers. But today I wanted to talk about field trips. I remember when I had my in-home in Austin, Texas, we always went on field trips every year. And even here in Missouri, we sometimes I'll have a police officer, we'll run a van and the police officer will drive and go with us. And sometimes I take my bus drivers with me. It just depends. I just make sure they all have the right credentials and we go on field trips. So when we were in Texas every year, we always talked about the zoo. And we would do like 1 or 2 weeks of the zoo, and then I'd actually take the kids to the zoo. And so one year we took the kids to the San Antonio Zoo, and actually we take them every year when we were down in Texas, and we would go to different zoos. We've been to like 3 different zoos down there, and then we went to another place that had a cave. We took the kids through the cave and stuff. But I remember the time we went to the San Antonio Zoo, and I mean, I did 2 weeks extensive. We learned about all the animals and everything. The kids were so excited, and we get to the zoo and we're walking through the zoo, and all they could remember was the elephant. And I was like, oh my Lord, I taught you all about the zoo, all the animals, what they did, what they ate, and everything. And then the elephant peed on the wall. Yep, the elephant peed on the wall, and that's all the kids would talk about was the elephant. And I was like, yes, elephants have the same bodily functions we do. I could not believe it. Like, that's all they could talk about. When they got back, the parents that didn't go, which most of my parents did go, they were like, yeah, guess what the elephant did? And I was like, oh my goodness. I went through 2 weeks of teaching about the zoo, and all you can remember is my elephant that you saw at the zoo peed on the wall. And then I'll never forget, one of our other trips was so much fun. When we went to the caves, they also had a ride that we could go on, and they had the fainting goats. And the fainting goats were pretty hilarious too. The guy that was running the tractor that we were on, he wasn't supposed to make the goats faint. But he did. He scared them. He was like, don't tell my boss. But he scared the goats, and the poor goats all just toppled over. And that was part of our field trip too. I love going on field trips with our kids. It's lots of fun. I don't know what we're going to do this year. I mean, with COVID and everything, I was thinking about looking up to see if we could find a drive-through zoo that we could take the kids through, just so we can get out and about and still learn, especially since we feel all cooped up and everything. So anyways, I love going on field trips. We always make sure the parents sign their permission slips. We make sure we follow licensing rules, make sure all the transportation stuff is. I always make sure either my police officer or my bus driver's with me. Everyone has CPR first aid. I make sure the ratios are all together where they're supposed to be. I remember when I first had my in-home, when we'd walk to the park, I didn't know one time myself was out of ratio. I was a newer provider. No one had told me. I thought the ratios in the house were the same as the ratios when I went to the park. And one of my friends was like, I think you need another teacher with you. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, pull up your licensing regs for Texas. So I pull them up, and yes, I did need one more teacher. I made a mistake. Since then, I fixed it. So we used to go to the movies all the time too when we were in Texas. I take the kids to the library once a week too. But we all make mistakes. And so once you realize you make a mistake, you just fix it and you move on. So I've learned a lot over the years, and I hope you all do too. And you have a great day. I got to get going. I got a lot of fun stuff. My food vendor finally dropped the food off this morning. It's been hard getting a lot of stuff we need, but we've been getting it and making it, so I'm happy. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.